Breaking news! Broncos country, you are not ready for this, because what I'm about to reveal could change the way you view the entire 2025 season. The Denver Broncos may have just pulled off the biggest heist in recent NFL memory, and hardly anyone is talking about it yet. 2 players, 1 backfield, a potential revolution in the run game, and all of it done quietly, strategically, and without breaking the bank. If you're a real fan, this is the kind of insider detail that makes you lean forward in your seat. The rumors started trickling in, but now we've got the stats, the vision, and the strategy, and it all points to one thing. Sean Payton isn't just rebuilding this team, he's weaponizing it. And the names at the heart of this shift? J.K. Dobbins and RJ Harvey. But before I unpack why this dynamic duo could become the Broncos' secret weapon and potentially the best backfield in the AFC West, hit that like button if you've been riding with the Broncos through thick and thin. Comment below, go Broncos! We can reach the Super Bowl. Now let's dive deep into this. Alright, straight to it. J.K. Dobbins is now a Denver Bronco, and folks, this move might age like fine wine. Let's talk numbers. Dobbins has racked up 2,252 rushing yards on just 429 carries. That's an astonishing 5.2 yards per carry, second best among all active NFL running backs. Let that sink in. And if that wasn't enough, he ranks third among active running backs in big play percentage. Those are runs of 10+ yards. That kind of explosiveness is what turns routine drives into scoring opportunities. And yes, he also logged 489 yards after contact last season, showcasing not just speed and vision but power and resilience. Now I know what you're thinking. Yeah, but can he stay healthy? That's the fair concern. Injuries have plagued his time in Baltimore. But when you look at what he's capable of when on the field, his field vision, his patience in single-back formations, and his ability to cut back decisively into open gaps, he's not just another running back. He's a game-changer, especially when placed in a system like Sean Payton's, which isn't built around just one feature back, but rather a rotating committee of explosive threats. And speaking of explosive threats, enter RJ Harvey, the speed demon out of UCF. This guy ran a 4.4 at the combine and had 32 carries of 15+ yards in 2024. To put that into perspective, Harvey wasn't even on the field nearly as much as other top backs like Ashton Gentry, who led the FBS in plays from scrimmage. Harvey had just 252 plays from scrimmage, yet managed 54 rushes of 10+ yards, second most in all of college football. That's elite burst, elite vision, and elite upside. Now what's beautiful here is the complement. J.K. Dobbins thrives in more traditional single-back formations where patience and cutback ability shine. RJ Harvey excels in shotgun offset formations, a modern style offense where he can either burst outside, cut through the B gap, or become a passing threat in the flat. This kind of flexibility is exactly what Denver's running game lacked last season. Let's be honest, Javonte Williams didn't give us much variety. It was a here's the ball, do what you can situation. Not anymore. This 1-2 punch of Dobbins and Harvey could be deadly. Think of J.K. Dobbins as your north-south bruiser, and Harvey as your east-west speedster. Dobbins gives you the Pro Bowl ceiling if he stays healthy, and Harvey brings that modern explosive element that can break a game open on any given play. Payton's system isn't built like Philly's with Saquon as a bell cow. It's built on packages, variation, deception, and that's why this duo fits like a glove. And let's talk value. Dobbins is on a $5.25 million deal. That's peanuts for what he could produce if he stays on the field. This isn't just a depth piece. This could be the Broncos' RB1 throughout the season. And while many of us have hyped RJ Harvey as a future RB1, what's becoming clearer is that Payton never intended to have a singular back dominate snaps. He wanted diversity, change of pace, and that's what this backfield now has. But here's the kicker. There's still a whole season to be played, and it's all about staying healthy and consistent. J.K. Dobbins and RJ Harvey could form the best RB duo in the AFC West if things click. But what if I told you the Denver Broncos might have just built one of the most dangerous running back tandems in the entire NFL, and almost no one is talking about it yet? That's right, under the radar, with a calculated move that cost them less than what some teams are paying for a backup guard, the Broncos may have set the foundation for an offensive revolution. J.K. Dobbins and RJ Harvey aren't just new names in the locker room, they're potential game breakers, and the way Sean Payton is planning to use them might be the real secret weapon heading into 2025. You see, it's not just about what these two can do individually, it's about how their styles fit together in perfect harmony. Dobbins brings that methodical, downhill, inside zone killer instinct. He's a patient runner with high football IQ, exceptional cutback vision, and the raw strength to grind through contact. He knows how to read an offensive line, and when he's behind a pulling guard or a zone-shifting front, his timing is almost surgical. In short yardage, traditional sets, he's your man. He'll control the clock, wear down defenses, and open up the play-action pass game that Payton loves. Now contrast that with RJ Harvey, whose speed and lateral quickness bring a completely different dynamic. His background at UCF showcased just how dangerous he is in modern formations, shotgun offset, dual tight end looks, stretch zones, screens, and even wheel routes. He thrives in space, can take the edge and turn the corner before defenders even recognize the play, and when matched up against linebackers in coverage, he wins. Over and over again. But here's what really sets this duo apart: unpredictability. In a single series, Payton can switch between downhill power runs with Dobbins to wide zone and misdirection plays with Harvey, leaving defenses off balance. He can motion Harvey into the slot or split both backs in a 2RB set, creating matchup nightmares. One moment it's third and short and Dobbins is pounding it through the A-gap. The next play, Harvey is catching a swing pass in open field with nothing but turf and end zone in front of him. And let's not forget the forgotten man here, RJ Harvey. He's not being brought in to just watch. Harvey adds yet another layer, a goal line hammer with enough explosion to bust through stacked boxes. That gives Payton the ability to keep fresh legs rotating without losing productivity, and in a 17-game grind, that's a luxury few teams have. Think about last season. How often did we see the Broncos stall in the red zone? How many drives died because the run game had no variation? That ends now. The 2025 Broncos backfield isn't just deeper, it's smarter, more explosive, and engineered to complement one another rather than compete for touches. And remember, both Dobbins and Harvey come into this year with chips on their shoulders. Dobbins wants to prove he's more than just a what-could-have-been player. Harvey wants to show the league that he should have been a top pick. That hunger, that fire, that's what you want leading your offense into battle. Now I've laid it all out for you, Broncos country. But the question remains, do you truly believe this backfield can carry the Broncos to the top of the AFC West and into the playoff picture? And it's not just about the raw talent. There's something deeper brewing here. A calculated identity shift. For years, the Broncos offense has struggled to define itself. Too often predictable, too reliant on underperforming personnel, and missing that spark of creativity that separates the contenders from the middle of the pack. Sean Payton sees this. That's why these acquisitions aren't random, they're foundational. He's not just collecting talent. He's assembling a playbook of mismatches, tempo changes, and schematic chaos for opposing defenses. And at the center of that chaos is the Dobbins-Harvey duo. Let's break down why that matters so much in today's NFL. Defensive coordinators now face offenses that blur the lines between positions. Is Harvey lining up as a running back or a slot receiver? Is Dobbins running between the tackles or leaking out into the flat? Can the linebacker on the field handle either in space? These are the types of questions that keep defensive coordinators up at night. And the beauty is, the Broncos don't have to choose between power and speed, between old school and modern. They've got both, ready to be unleashed in waves. This approach also plays directly into Payton's track record. Think back to his days in New Orleans. He turned undrafted backs into weapons. He created dynamic duos with guys like Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram. He doesn't need one guy to carry the ball 25 times a game. He needs versatility, efficiency, and backs that can execute in multiple roles. In Dobbins and Harvey, he has that. Dobbins gives him the Kamara-like patience and short yardage vision, while Harvey brings the electric, Kamara-esque breakaway ability. Together, they form a toolbox that's loaded for every scenario: short yardage, red zone, hurry-up offense, screen game, misdirection, and more. But let's not underestimate how much this changes things for the rest of the offense. With a reliable ground game, play action becomes deadly. Defenses are forced to commit extra personnel to the box, opening up one-on-one opportunities for receivers.